another episode of DB2 Bets, brought to you by BetStamp, where we use the BetStamp app and we are finding the best odds out there across all of the different sports books across North America. And by Crier Media, visit crier.co for all things DB2 and sports content as well. Articles by yours truly. What's going on? It's Josh Elijah, your co-host, along with my co-host over here as well, Jesse McKay, aka
Yo.
Man. How you doing, baby?
Good. Another week. Another L for me. I feel like I'm in the DB2 doghouse right now.
No, dude.
My Memphis pick was just like so beat last week.
Dude, it wasn't so bad at all. And like, honestly, like we had a couple other picks to save us, so we ended up going 2 wins, 1 loss there. But altogether right now, our record's looking pretty good. We're at 204 and 184 over the past year since we started the show. So like, not doing too bad. We've definitely poked our head above 500. So yeah, we got some good things on the burner there. And you know what? This is the second last show of the football season where we're going to be doing our coverage for the NFL. Bird, how do you feel about that?
This is my time to shine, man. This is where
when football stops?
Yes. I'm just like, I love watching it, but like trying to predict stuff, I'm so bad at it. As we mentioned before, we're going to try and compile my football betting record. It's gonna be pretty poor.
I mean, like, you know what? For every wrong pick that you've had, I've been able to help us out with a couple dubs as well. So I mean, we've been staying pretty balanced, and then like I said, our record's not doing too bad. But that is why we've brought on our guest for this week as we head into the NFC and AFC Championship games this Sunday, and we brought over fellow comic. It's been a minute since we've been able to hang out. He's also a writer on the Beaverton as well. Filipe Dimas, everybody, how you doing? Good to see ya.
I'm doing great. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, likewise. You know what? And like just chatting back and forth with Bird at the beginning of the week when we were doing our show prep and planning and what have you. We were like, you were flooded in my inboxes. I like sending your video back and forth, and even one of my buddies was just like, he's like, oh yeah, like here's the video, and I'm like, oh, I fucking know this guy, and he's like, of course you know this guy, and then I'm just like, no, seriously, I got him on the show this week. So for those of you who've been living under a rock, Filipe here has had a video that has gone viral. We were doing 2.1 million views on TikTok. It was picked up by ESPN. Really fucking crazy. Well, I actually got the link for us right here. So why don't we go ahead and run this for those of you who have not seen it.
I need everyone to notice this idiot right here at the end of the second period of the Leafs game last night, where William Nylander scored 2 goals. So here he is at the end of the second period, clearly not wearing a hat, right? And he must have had one too many $20 adult beverages, because in the third period, here he is, clearly wearing a brand new silver Toronto Maple Leafs hat that he must have run out to buy at intermission because he was worried that William Nylander might score a hat trick and he wouldn't have anything to throw on the ice. And the worst part of that is Nylander didn't even get the hat trick, so now he just has that hat. What an idiot!
It's a sick hat.
It's a sick fucking hat.
I was really happy with it, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like if he did score, then you would have been like, fuck, I have to toss that bucket.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah.
And that's probably like a $40 bucket right there too. So
yeah, and I've always like struggled to find nice Toronto Maple Leafs hats. I feel like they really market them to like middle-aged dudes living in Whitby. Like,
yeah,
they're all so ugly.
Yeah.
And then to find like a nice fitted hat with like a nice like color finish to it, I was like, oh wait, this is actually sick.
It's actually sick. But yeah, man, no, that was awesome. I'm sure you're sick and tired of your fucking voice right now too. You've probably seen it a million times. But just kind of walk us through, like, I mean, like you just picked up tickets for the game on Monday, which is a sick fucking game to be at.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. Yeah, I was mentioning earlier, but I live in downtown Toronto, so sometimes I like to check the day before game to see if anyone's trying to resell their tickets for a cheap price. I found those beauty seats for like way less than face value, so I picked it up, text my buddy saying like, oh, we're going to Leafs game tomorrow, Leafs versus Islanders, let's go. Throw out Tavares jersey, obviously, have to against the Islanders.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, yeah, while at the game, Nylander scored 2 goals in the second period, and I was drunk enough that I was like, "Oh, if he gets a hat trick, I'm not going to have a hat. I'm going to look like an idiot in the front row without throwing a hat." So
Meanwhile, your buddy's just like, yeah, nobody's paying attention. So.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, during intermission, I ran to the team store, grabbed one, and then I got home. Obviously, he didn't score a third goal.
Yeah.
The next day, some friends and I have been doing like a New Year's challenge throughout January. We challenged each other to post like 1 video a day, just to like get in that content creation momentum going into the new year.
Absolutely.
So I was like, it's been working great. It's like just getting in that mindset. Yeah,
for sure.
So the next day I was like, okay, what should I do for this thing? And I was like, oh, I could probably like find the recording of the game on demand, and then like find a shot with me in it and poke fun at the silly thing that happened.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I shot that in like I think 1 take pretty much. Did it like took less than 5 minutes to do. Threw it up, went to work, and then like within an hour it was like just blowing up, and I was like, oh shit.
Crazy, man. Like how fast did it end up hitting like those like hundreds of thousands to millions?
It hit. So I threw it up around like I think like noonish, maybe 2 p.m. I was doing a show at like 8:30 that night. It was already over 1 million at that point. And while I was at the show, it was a show I was producing, so I was like hanging out to the sides, like running the news stuff like that. And while the show was going, I look at my phone and there's a message from ESPN being like, "Can we repost this?" And I was like, I texted my friends like, "What do I do?"
Yes, dude, that is so fucking awesome. And yeah, that was the way I found it. My buddy sent me the ESPN video, and I'm just like, damn, that's fucking Filipe. So that's amazing, man. Kudos to you. And that's awesome. Just keep riding that momentum, man. But yeah, super stoked to be able to have you on the show and talk a little bit of football here. As I mentioned, we're heading into the AFC and NFC Championship weekend. Really, really pumped for this. I got a couple Moneyline picks and you got a couple player prop picks. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting off with the Philadelphia Eagles as they face the San Francisco 49ers as well. We're taking the Philadelphia Eagles on the money line minus 136, and that's available over on Bet99. Look, I think I'm betting a little bit more with my heart here. And both of these games are kind of a pick 'em when it comes to, I mean, like I'm not going to take either or on the spread. It's just kind of the money line at this point. And I just got to I don't like either of these teams, to be honest. I mean, like Philadelphia, it's just, I've never been a fucking Eagles fan. Fly, Eagles, fly. It's just not, I don't know. I'll bet them. They've done well for me this year. They've worked in my survivor pool. They're a dynamic offense and defense, and Jalen Hurts has been playing out of his mind, an MVP caliber season before obviously he got injured. It's definitely a game that can go either way. I feel like Philadelphia is a bit more rested as well. I mean, San Francisco had a pretty duke 'em out game against Dallas, even though they just had to face a tougher defense with Dallas. But then again, it's Jalen Hurts who has a little bit more experience, a couple of years more experience than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's been on a hell of a run, which is being plugged into the San Francisco offense as well with what Shanahan's built. But I think this is just kind of where it ends. I don't see them going to the Super Bowl, even though they have an incredible defense and an incredible offense. It's going to be a battle, but I think that the Eagles are gonna reign supreme here against the 49ers, and that's why I'm just gonna take them on the money line. I also just 49ers are a divisional rival for me too, and just fuck the fucking Niners. I don't like them. I never will. As a Rams fan, I've made money off them this year, but it's got to stop here. I'll probably throw on a couple anytime touchdowns, but for me, I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I think here's the thing. I also just don't want to see a 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl again. Like we just had that a few years ago. So I'm going to be rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're just favored. So I'm going to take that home field advantage in Philadelphia as well. Filipe, what do you think?
Yeah, this game is a tough one. Like you said, the Eagles have been so dominant all year. They're the favorites going into it. It's hard to pick anything that's really bad about that team. But at the same time, the 49ers have not only such a good team, but that QB magic going on with Brock Purdy right now. The same story we've seen work out to the end before with Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, these young quarterbacks come into a team, take over, and just kick ass. Like,
I was afraid you were going to say that. Yeah.
yeah.
Because that's what it's been. That's what it's been.
Yeah.
It's just like, and everyone that I'm talking to, they're like, enough of this 49ers bullshit. Like, no. It's not going to, he's not the next Tom Brady. It's not happening. Let's just see Jalen Hurts take him to the Super Bowl. Because, I mean, I think everyone was just rooting for Jalen Hurts to actually win that MVP because he's had an incredible year. I mean, he was leading them to an undefeated year up until I forget who they actually lost to actually break their perfect run there. But either way, I just think that, I think that everyone wants to see the Eagles win. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to see the 49ers win. So I think this one's betting a little bit more with my heart as opposed to my mind. But then again, it's not a bad pick either way.
Yeah,
So,
it's both teams are good. I mean, it's hard to bet against Christian McCaffrey, but also it's hard to bet against the entire Eagles squad. So it's like,
offensively and defensively.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely going to be a great game. I'm very stoked for that. So we're going to go Philadelphia Eagles on the money line -136, and that's a little over on Bet99. Moving right along, and this game we have a little bit more coverage on, as I'm going to take a Bengals W. Give me the Bengals on the money line +106, and that's available over on Cool Bet as they face the KC Chiefs. Look, I mean, like for me, I mean, there's a little bit more of an emotional side to this as well. For me, wanting to cheer for the Bengals, that was our boy's favorite team as well. Jeff Beaton, shout out. So I've been riding them for the last couple months, and they have not disappointed me since I've been riding them, and they've just been absolutely on fire. That game shutting down the Bills the way that they did last week is just incredible. Easy pick on the spread. Easy pick on the spread there. And honestly, I mean, it's tough to see like that kind of momentum, and for them to be able to beat the Chiefs as well, like the way that they've had them kind of figured out. I don't know. Mahomes is a little banged up because of your player prop picks that you have. I don't know. What do you think, Filipe? Like, are you going more for the Chiefs as opposed to the Bengals?
I lean towards the Chiefs. I think it's very, very close, though. And I'll fully admit part of that may be my bias as a Steelers fan. But even then, as a Steelers fan, I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. That team's got some really, really fun players on it. It feels like the new New England, Indianapolis. Like, I feel like we're going to be watching these teams in the AFC Championship a lot over the next few years. A lot.
A lot of rinse and repeat.
And I think that's part of the reason I lean the Chiefs is between Tom Brady and even like LeBron James over the past 20 years. Like, I think I've learned enough lessons about betting against the best player in the league. Like, it's just
but the best player in the league is kind of banged up with that anger.
Yeah, I'm seeing here that he's fully practiced with the team. So
sure, I mean
he might be all right. We'll see.
I mean, and like he's gonna have to play. They're not gonna throw
obviously
in Chad fucking Henne again against this. I mean, like it's that. I think that's why the lines teetered a bit more, because we had them over at -122 earlier on this week, but then we ended up seeing that the odds have now shifted back slightly in the Chiefs' favor. But then that's why we're able to get a little bit better value here on the Bengals at +106.
I was just gonna say one thing I think working in Mahomes' favor is the Bengals defense doesn't pressure the quarterback too much. They're like near the bottom of the league in sacks. So if Mahomes is nursing a bit of an injury, he'll still have, I think, plenty of time. He won't have to worry about big defensive linemen barreling down on him as much as he's had to in previous weeks. May have some more time to let himself cook there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, it's I don't know. It's just the Bengals have just looked so good. Like, I mean, they were able to not only handle the Bills' offense, but then like dismantle their defense. And that was something that I've been preaching for over the last couple of weeks. Is the Bills' D ain't that good. It just hasn't been what everyone thought it was going to be going into the season. And you definitely see them missing Von Miller as well. But that's in the past. Bills took the L. We're talking Bengals and Chiefs rematch of last year, and like if it's any sort of if it's going to be like last year, any sort of like last year, I mean, it's going to be a shootout as well between two of the league's top quarterbacks. I think. I mean, you put Patrick Mahomes; he's definitely the front runner for the MVP this year, with Joe Burrow right behind him.
Yep.
So.
Agreed.
I mean, for me, this is going to be our pick here. We're just going to stick simple here with the money lines. But yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals on the money line plus 106, and that's available over on CoolBet. And obviously, we were able to find all these odds on BetStamp. So make sure you download the BetStamp app available in the Apple App Store and Google Play. It's free. Use promo code DB2. And also, if you're interested in any sort of onboarding sessions as well with us, please email downby2podcast@gmail.com, as we are giving away onboarding sessions. Lots of great perks to go along with that. We've had a couple people within the last week already reach out as well. So yeah, hit us up because we got perks up the wazoo, baby. But that kind of parlays into, no pun intended, but it kind of segues into your picks as well, as they are Chiefs focused. Let's start off with your JuJu pick here.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm a big Steelers fan, so I've got to see JuJu Smith-Schuster play a lot over the past few years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one thing I think people really underrate about him is he's got deceptive speed. Like, people reference him as a slower player because he had a bad 40 time during the draft and stuff like that. But
Sure.
the guy can get distance on. He's very good at route running. He can get distance on defensive backs and stuff. And I was surprised to see it at only 45.5. That's, I think, pretty significantly lower than what his per game average was over the season.
Mm-hmm.
And this just feels like one of those plays that could be won on a single pass. Like, just one good pass to him down the field, it's done. It could be over the first play of the game, potentially.
Oh, yeah.
And I just really like the way it looks. I think it's good value on... I know the Chiefs don't really have a wide receiver one, but if I had to pick a guy who probably is that guy for that team, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I've had him in fantasy this year, and like some games he absolutely lights it the fuck up, and then other games he just shits all down his legs. So I mean, like, it's either and that's the 45-yard mark. It's usually been that because I bet on the over and hit, and I bet on the under and I've lost, or I bet on the over and he's gone under miserably. So
I'm seeing here he averaged 58.3 yards per game during the season. So
absolutely.
That is quite a difference there. I like that number.
It's just crazy that the Chiefs they did not miss Tyreek Hill at all. Like, and then you just have someone like JuJu come in, and even Valdez-Scantling also gets his touches as well, and it's been and then other players stepping up as well. It's crazy how they're just actually kind of better even without Tyreek Hill, which is fucked to think. But yeah, I definitely like the over. Even though that we're doing player props on this, doesn't mean that it can't be for the other team that we're betting against almost. So I definitely like JuJu Smith-Schuster. We're taking that on the over 45.5 yards at -114. We found that over on FanDuel, another great sports book. So again, make sure you also check out betstamp.app/onboarding. Use promo code DB2 and sign up to FanDuel because there's a lot of great sign up bonuses available that are through the link that you see in the comments below, or obviously betstamp.app/onboarding. Next pick, final pick of this episode as well. We're also going to go. This is a great one. I love it. Don't know much about Karlaftis, but talk to us about this George Karlaftis pick.
Yeah, so I really liked this guy coming out of the draft. Seeing him go to Kansas City just felt like, oh, there's going to be instant success there, which I was kind of wrong about because he started the season really slow,
Sure.
at least in terms of just counting stats. It didn't really do too much in terms of sacking the quarterback to start the season. I think he only had one in his first 9 or 10 games, but he's finished the season really strong. I believe he has 5.5 sacks over his last 7 games, including getting a sack against the Bengals during the regular season matchup I saw there. So he's just he's just riding a lot of momentum. Huge guy off the edge, just big Greek machine. I really like him as a player, and I think he's kind of found his footing over the past few weeks. Just the transition from college to the NFL is obviously a huge gap, and it feels like he's really starting to figure it out, and he could be a problem next year, and I think it's gonna already started and it's going to continue into this game. So I like the odds of him getting a sack here.
Love it. Say no more. I mean, yeah, I don't know much about him, but man, from what I've been reading up, George Karlaftis, I like that. That's pretty good value on that too, plus 152. So yeah, let's lock it in right here, right now. George Karlaftis sack plus 152. That's anytime throughout the game, just over 0.5 sacks. So he's just got to sack him once. And we found that over on Bet99. And that brings us to ding, 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 the pick and roll brought to you by BetStamp. Visit betstamp.app/onboarding for all those sweet, sweet sign-up bonuses and download the app as well. And by Crier Media, visit crier.co for all things DB2 and sports related content. I don't have a yup beer to cheer right now. I actually have a fucking socialite. Our boy Jake was hanging out with us, and he's like, you know what I really like are these socialites, and my favorite flavor is cream soda. I'm like, Jake, what off? Cream soda seltzer. So I mean, it's just taking up room in my fridge, and I gotta fucking
just drop off the extras from the stolen cottage that they couldn't sell, or what?
Right? Like, and then he just leaves them here. I'm like, you don't fucking like them because it tastes like fucking creamy piss. But yeah, whatever. Brought to you by Socialite, unofficial, I suppose. Ding ding. Here we go. Cheers, buddy. Ew. Starting off with the Philadelphia Eagles money line -136, and that's available over on Bet99 as they take on Brock Purdy and the 40 Whiners. And then followed up by the Cincinnati Bengals. Hoo-day! Can't believe I'm saying that. Money line +106, available over on CoolBet as they take on Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And then for Philippe's player props that we have here, JuJu Smith-Shuster over 45.5 receiving yards -114, available on FanDuel, followed by George Karlaftis anytime sack +152, available on Bet99. One more time, Filipe, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Got to have you back here. Got to do some hockey picks as well, but wanted to make sure that we got you in before the end of the NFL season.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anything that we want to be able to plug for you, Filipe? We're actually now on Twitch too. So tell us a little bit about where we can find you.
Oh, perfect. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/Folopo, FOLOPO. And then on Twitter at twitter.com/Filipe Dimas.
There it is. Fantastic, buddy. Well, looking forward to having you back on the show as well for Josh, Elijah, and Birdman. Have yourselves a great weekend. Catch you next week. And got lots more in store for you as well. A couple more announcements coming in through the pipe. Have yourselves a great weekend. Talk to you later. Peace.